Welcome, parents，欢迎各位家长。今天是欢迎来到乐见的独家美高顶级技术美高直播间采访啊。今天受采访的是我们的 Mike Broderick 老师也是曾经排名第25的 Kent School 的前招生办主任。所以今天我们欢迎 Mike 老师的到来。然后 Mike 老师非常开心，他从前年就是已经加入到乐见，成为我们的乐见导师之一，来负责美高和美本的业务。Okay, thanks, Mike. Yeah, thanks for coming. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Diego.
So I'll be talking to you and I'll be translating a little bit because not everyone speak English. Yeah, right, speak English. So I'll translate a little bit for you. First of all, please maybe introduce to us, because today actually we have parents who's interested in the Kent school, and I actually have a video, but maybe you can introduce yourself a little bit for us to start.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Mike Broderick. I'm an educational consultant out of New York in the U.S. I've been an international and U.S. educational consultant for almost 15 years now. Before that, I worked in education for almost 20 years in a various roles as a principal, assistant principal, dean of students, director of admissions, director of financial aid at various private schools in the U.S. And one of those private schools happened to be the Kent School. So we'll be talking a little bit about them today.
Okay. Mike 老师说他这个经验其实已经有20年的教育经验啊，15年的就是帮助学生升学。他是乐见老师，也是 IECA 成员啊，就是乐见很多老师都是 IECA 协会的成员，所以 Mike 老师也是我们其中一位。然后他在这个之前还有20年的这个教育还有学习的经验，然后在其中一个阶段也是 肯特中学的前招生办主任，所以非常欢迎 Mike。然后今天他也会主要给我们介绍一下他之前在的中学和一些他的其中的特点。Okay. Yeah, Mike. So I made I translate your introduction. It was great. Do you mind if I play a video of Kent just to start us off?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, let me try to get this going. Yeah. 接下来我们先放一个短短的3分钟的 Kent 中学的视频，然后这样的话，我们可以先通过这个视频了解一下。Okay.
First time I saw the Kent campus. It's beautiful. That's the first thing I thought.
Trail. It's quite a unique environment.
I didn't want to leave when I came to Kent. It felt like home.
Class sizes are fairly small here. Every little class is like a different family for me.
Just around campus, you really get to know everyone.
The people here are very welcoming. The fact that I can walk into the dining hall and sit anywhere with someone different is amazing.
I've got friends from everywhere, from Egypt, Uganda, England.
I'm sitting here in a classroom with kids from all over the world.
Interesting to see how similar we all are, even though we're all from different places.
That just enhances my experience here.
Being unique here is not something that's frowned upon. It's something that's really celebrated.
Kent really has inspired me to do things that I never thought were really in my comfort zone.
I know football players that are also in the play. My roommate is a diver and she does the musical.
All these opportunities were thrown at me. I just started taking them and I made so many friends in the process. It was great.
There are so many options you can pick, and that's kind of the great thing about Kent.
Honestly, the trickiest part here at Kent is trying to take advantage of everything because there's so much.
I really value the student-teacher relationships here.
You really build close relationships with the teachers.
It's awesome to see how your advisor can also be your coach and also just be someone you go to when you just want to talk to someone.
The teachers at Kent, they're not just teachers. They're dorm parents, coaches, friends.
Teachers challenge you to take harder classes and to challenge yourself in those classes.
I wanted to be challenged. I like to be challenged. And Kent, everyone's on your side. Everyone's going to help you to succeed. They're encouraging you to branch out. They're encouraging you to do better.
I kind of put my feet on the ground here and just decided to run with it and do everything, join clubs and get involved.
Kent isn't all about academics. It's so much more than that.
There's a good balance with time with your friends and playing sports and being involved in extracurricular things.
Everyone has a passion and it's exciting to see that come alive here.
Kent really helped me develop as a person, both academics and socially.
Kent has helped me to grow as a person and a student in more ways than I can say, honestly.
Kent has helped me grow into someone that really wants to get involved in wherever they are.
I love Kent because it gives me the liberty I need to explore my choices.
Kent has given me a confidence because they're going to throw so many things at you, and I can handle it.
Kent is the right place for me because I feel like I can be everything that I want to be here.
At Kent, I'm a soccer player and a news editor.
I am a part of the senior council and the captain of the crew. I am the senior prefect, and I do musical theater. This is where I grew up. This is where I learned how to be myself. Honestly, I feel like Kent has brought the best out of me.
Okay, well, okay, so that's our video, Mike. Yeah, was it very representative? Was
It is. It was, Diego. It brought back a lot of memories. It's a beautiful place. It really is. Very, very welcoming.
OK，就是麦英老师说这个是非常就是让别人感到温暖的一个地方。然后其实我挺想知道，就是也为这个线上家长问一问，就是他有什么独特点？就比如说他有什么独特点可以吸引到我？因为每个孩子也是有独特的兴趣爱好，还有才艺，所以想问一下麦老师。So Mike, I think online parents are asking, every school, especially boarding school, is special in itself, and also every kid is special. So if what are the special features about Kent that would attract my kids to go there, or what kind of I would say talents would it match kids, for example, a kid that's in China? Yeah, can you elaborate on that a little bit? Mhm.
Absolutely. That's a very difficult question, Diego.
Sorry. Yeah.
That's all right. And I'll explain why. To be at the level and to be as ranked as high as a school like Kent, to pick out one or two pieces of the institution, differentiate it or make it special, or to try to find one particular strength that separates it from the pack is very, very difficult. A school like Kent is strong in everything that it does. They're incredibly well-rounded. They have lots of programming for the students, both in and out of the classroom, and they set high standards.
Okay, let me translate that a little bit before I forget. I'm jotting down your
Sure,
answers.
yeah, I'm going to give you breaks.
Okay, thanks, Mike.
Sure.
You're a lifesaver. So 那个 Mike 老师说，就我问了他嘛，就是什么样的学生适合 Kent？他说这个太难回答了，因为就是尤其是这种排名非常靠前的学校，其实它所有的环节，就咱们平常说的文理，或者是理工科，或者是体育、艺术、音乐都很强啊，因为他们有很多很多不同的项目，然后每个来的学生都会得到很好的培育和发展，所以这个是 Mike 的第一个观点。Okay, yes, Mike, translated. So with that said, Mike, yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
No, I translated what you said earlier, but with that said, do you want to keep elaborating on it a little bit?
Sure. Well, Kent again is probably one of the top 25 boarding schools in the United States. Its college list, traditionally, year in and year out, is incredibly impressive. They have routinely 5, 6 students, 7 students a year go off to the Ivy Leagues. They have, their top half of their class normally goes off to, schools and universities ranked in the top 20, 25% in the US, which are all highly selective institutions. That's one of the things that differentiates it from the pack, I guess, is one of the things you can say is they have high standards. They expect a lot of their students, but they also give those students a lot of support.
OK， let me translate that。Mike 老师说呢，就是由于它是排名25的学校，那它的申请结果啊，也就是本科申请结果，从 Kent School 申请到美国的本科也是非常好的。每年都会有5到6个大藤的孩子，包括很大的一部分都是去前25的美本啊，这个就是真的是非常强悍啊。作为美高，也是很多家长想去美高的原因啊。然后他对他自己有很高的这个就是分界线，然后对学生的邀请也极其为高。OK，Mike。
Okay. I mean, so now Kent itself, let's talk a little bit about it. It's located in Kent, Connecticut, in a beautiful small town located on the Housatonic River in eastern Connecticut, not very far from the New York State border. It does have a religious affiliation. It is Episcopalian. It does have a Christian affiliation, but there are students from all backgrounds, all denominations. So it was founded in 1906. There are roughly, I think, 550 students. It's coeducational. There is an endowment of 130 to 135 million dollars, which is a very healthy endowment for a boarding school in the U.S.
Wow. Yes.
Okay. They do run their schedule based on a trimester system, which means they have fall, winter, spring sessions. And their weekly schedule runs Monday through Saturday with half days on Wednesday and Saturday. I think that's important for families to know.
Yeah, Wednesday and Sundays off, right? Mike, you said
Sundays are off, yes.
OK。Mike 介绍一下这个学校基本情况，因为他就是在这待了和生活了很多年。首先，他是在 Connecticut 叫一个很小城市叫 Kent， 然后呢，它这个离纽约的这个边界也很近，然后是一个基督教的学校，1906年成立的，然后目前呢有差不多500多个学生，然后我觉得有比较Mike说比较自豪的也是他们的为什么这么非常有实力，就是学校的话捐款现在目前有1.3亿美金啊，这个是非常庞大了啊，1.3亿美金在他们的 endowment 这个 fund 里边。然后呢 ，Mike 老师值得这个说的就是他们其实休周日，但是呢，这个是周3和周6是上半天课，所以这个是学校比较独特的一点，然后大家也可以知道一下。OK，Mike。
Okay, so that's the basics. That's the basics of Kent. Their average SAT score is roughly 1350 to 1380. Their average ACT, I'd have to look up the most recent statistics, but last I looked, it was between 30 and 33. I think they're I think the last I
Yeah, sorry, Mike. Do you have okay signal over there, Mike?
think so.
Okay, let me check mine. Yeah, because it was let's see, latency is okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. It was kind of waiting a little bit.
Oh, okay. I was just talking about SAT and ACT. The average SAT is roughly, I think, 350 or 1350 to 1380. Their average ACT is between 30 and 33. I think the last number I saw was 31, but I don't have the most updated data. But these students are highly polished and they're ready for college. They hold their students to a high standard. They do offer support that's not necessarily unique to Kent. Are you there?
Yeah,
Anybody
it was
there?
yeah, on the screen it says your signal is only 1 bar. I don't know why.
Huh, mine's got, on my computer, I've got
Full bar?
3.
Oh, 3? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a Tencent software. Okay, please keep going.
Okay. So, where was I?
The scores? Talking about the scores?
Oh, well, they're just, the students are incredibly, well prepared for college. They take their studies very, very seriously. And they're given a lot of support academically by the school. But that's not necessarily unique to Kent, Diego. That is a benefit of going to a U.S. boarding school. Teachers are there, they're on campus, they're ready to work with students, even in the evening and after hours during study hall, in order to see consistent progress academically.
Okay. Okay, let me translate for this. 那个 Mike 老师说他之前看的 Kent 的这个平均 SAT 差不多在1350，在1380，然后 ACT 30到33这个可能是一年前的，可能目前还有提升。然后我想说一下这个在中国学生里边，这个肯定不算高的，但是这个如果平均分的话，应该已经算是比较高的了，在美国同学里，因为很多美国学生他们其实是不刷标化的就像我以前在美高的时候，其实身边的人就考1次过这种所以这个的话，而且如果美国人的话，当然他们也有优势像去年我们看见这个进藤校的学生，可能也就是如果是美国人的话，可能就是1400的 SAT 就可以。对，所以中国学生在这里边肯定努力，而且分数肯定也远超这个平均分。然后第二呢，就是 Kent School 它很注重肯定学术，因为为了学生的成长和申请。那它的不同的点，或者 Mike 老师比较自豪，就是他的老师其实会做力所能及的一切，然后帮助学生可以学习得更好。比如说他们会这个在自习出现来帮助学生，各个学科老师，包括晚上都是会晚上的时间都会帮助学生可以提升他们的学术能力，如果有问题的话也会解答。Yeah, Mike, that's great. Yeah, so it seems like the teachers go out their way to help the students academically and to achieve success.
They do, yes, and that's pretty common. You'd find that across most of the boarding schools, but Kent does a very, very good job at it.
Okay, that's amazing.
Now, another thing about Kent, I think it's important to talk about, is its depth and its breadth. When I talk about programming, it has high standard academics. That I don't need to elaborate much on that. It is a college preparatory curriculum. It is one of the tops in the country. I'm sorry?
AP based, AP advanced placement based, right?
Yes, I mean that's the goal. Is to make sure the students are taking the highest level of rigor possible in the school. They do offer courses that are not necessarily AP level, but the goal is to move them towards the AP level academics. But when I talk about programming, I'm also talking about things that go on outside of the classroom. Some of the clubs that I can talk about, I remember Amnesty International was very, very big. Animal rights. There's a biking club. There was, I'm trying to remember, an environmental club that did extensive work in the community. I'm trying to think. Peer counselors, which meant that students they did small group work to keep lines of communication open between students and the school, so that students, didn't feel left out. I thought it was very effective. Theater club, a justice club. I think those were for students that were interested in pre-law. It seemed like those students signed up.
Okay.
Yeah, students who were interested in law kind of had their own club. If I remember correctly, I've got to go back and take a look, but that was popular at the time.
Okay, wow. 老师说这个其实 Kent School 他们有它的深度和广度的这个教学方式。那深度的话，肯定希望学生到最后都可以 到一个 advanced placement， 就是 AP， 我们所谓的 AP 这样的深度啊，就是可以甚至堪比可以拿大学的学分这样的课程。然后它从一个就是广度的方式来说的话，那它有很多帮助学生来了解自己兴趣爱好的，我就不一一说了。但是我听到几个 Mike 老师说的比较感兴趣，就是它有个叫Social Justice Club， 就是叫社会的平等或者社会的平等俱乐部。然后这个的话，很多是法律，就想学法律的学生会提前加入这个，因为大家知道学法律的话在本科是没有的，所以我觉得这样提前来给学生兴趣爱好探索的机会是非常好的。然后我还听到Mike 老师说有这个Animal Rights， 就是动物保护协会，还有就是戏剧啊等等表演，还有 Amnesty International 就是跟这个国际关系和国际的这个方面政治方面有关系的俱乐部。所以这个有些当时我也参与了，比如说 Mike 老师说了 Peer Council， 就大家可以就是学生组织这样的协会，可以对他的同班同学或者同龄人来提供这样的就是社区服务，或者是一个综合类型的服务和帮助。我觉得这还蛮有意思的。Okay, Mike.
Okay, and
Great.
so arts and music programs.
Wow.
I remember there's a dance club, a jazz club, right? There's a student newspaper. There's an art club, hip hop dance club. I'm trying to remember what else. And then there's athletics, which play a pretty important role at Kent. I would say the vast majority of students participate in sports each season at some level. They have baseball, they have basketball, crew, cross country, diving, equestrian.
Okay.
I remember field hockey, American football, soccer.
Do you remember which one? Do you remember which one,
What?
Mike, that Kent is could consistently, like for example, go to the state or whatever it's called to win games?
I always remember Kent having one of the most well-rounded and solid athletic programs in New England.
Wow.
Their programs were always very competitive.
Very competitive.
Across the board. Now, football is very popular there. Ice hockey is very, very popular there.
Okay.
But they have an outstanding crew program.
Yeah.
And in the United States, crew is one of the easiest ways for an athlete to get a scholarship because there's more demand than there is supply. So if you have a student, and it's one of the few sports where you don't have to have a whole lot of experience when you get started.
Yeah. Wow. I think a light bulb just went off for many parents. Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing to know. That's a unique sport.
OK， 这个我翻译一下，就是 Mike 老师说，这个在艺术和音乐方面肯特中学肯定也是不差的从舞蹈到这个爵士到艺术，然后我记得那个肯特中学还有一个班，它是可以报名跳舞的话，这个成员要每个周都要上不同的舞蹈课，比如说爵士、芭蕾啊、现代舞啊等等，所以这个就是热爱舞蹈的同学会感觉非常好。然后这个刚才我问了一下麦克老师，就是哪个体育比较好，或者是能得奖在肯中学？老师说，其实每个体育他们都是非常有竞争力然后比如说是像潜水，包括潜水、马术，还有就 field hockey 这个就是有点像冰球，但只不过在草地上打的但是 Kent 尤其好的就是冰球和橄榄球，然后还有一个他说，其实最容易得奖学金的就是赛艇crew 就是大家坐在一个船里边，有点像龙华的这种艇，然后大家一起，这个叫 crew team。然后麦老师说原因是因为供应没有需求大 所以这个的话就马上家长就可以想到，哇，真的有一个体育项目大家不再竞争，而且如果滑得好的话可以拿到大学奖学金，所以这个大家可以今天收获crew 是麦克老师建议的一个比较小众的项目，并且可以得奖和得奖学金。Thanks, Mike.
Sure. Sure. And now, why do I bring that up? It leads us into what, top prep school and boarding schools are looking for. The expectation, if you're applying to a school, a boarding school within the top 20, 25, is that you are an outstanding academic student. That's the expectation. The way to differentiate yourself or your student from the pack is, what else is that student going to bring to the community? How else are they going to engage? Okay. That's why I mentioned clubs. That's why I mentioned art and music and athletics. Boarding schools, by their nature, are very small, intimate communities. And they need to bring students in who are going to participate.
Right. Okay. Yeah, this is very important. Let me translate that before I forget. I'll translate it backwards. Yeah,
Sure.
所以麦克老师说这些顶级寄宿学校非常好，但是这个从一个客观的角度来说，他们是一个都是非常小、非常非常小的这个社群，所以呢，除了这些顶级寄宿高中需要你这个有极强的学术能力这个就是已经是大家就是说已经不是说一个期望了，这是一个必须的成分，是一个基本的诉求这些顶级寄宿高中。然后除了这个非常好的成绩和学习能力，那他第二个看的就是怎么把你区分出来，就是你到我们这么小的一个集体，你是不是有东西可以贡献出来，而且你是不是可以参与不同的活动来融入到这个群体，这个是他们最想知道的。而你跟别人比如说另外一个同学有什么不同，所以这个就是为什么去寄宿高中现在每年都是很难很卷，因为他们要在上百个人挑出大概8到10个人，然后这8到10个人是最能融入他现在的集体的这个就是他们现在的这个群体或者集体，所以这个就是 Mike 老师刚才强调的。OK, Mike.
Okay. So it's important for your student, number one, to get involved in this process. If they're interested, to get involved in the process as early as possible. The reason being is the more popular schools receive the a large amount of applications. You want your student's name to be mentioned as often as possible through the process. You want the admissions personnel, to get to know them. And if you wait too long, there's a chance that they could get lost in the shuffle of last-minute applicants.
Okay, that's another very important point. So let me drive that home. Okay, lost in the shuffle. Let me write this down. Okay. 麦克老师强调，就是要这种顶级寄宿高中的话，一定要非常早开始，可能比如说9升9或者8升9，可能我们7年级甚至6年级就要开始。为什么呢？因为其实你要招生办主任或者这个团队知道你的名字，而且你这个名字在这个过程中如果出现的次数越多，比如他们提到了就刚才说吧，提到了这个划船如果划船或者赛艇。提到的次数提到了赛艇，然后比如说我们这个同学他叫 Amy， 他喜欢赛艇，那我们让招生班主任和团队知道他喜欢赛艇的话，那他的名字就会出现，所以时间越长，他名字出现的越多，那他被录取的概率就会更大，因为大家都知道他认可他的能力为什么？然后还有一项这个为什么很重要呢？让你名字从很早的时候就在出现他们的脑海里呢，或者记住你的名字，因为到最后会有乌泱乌泱的一大批的申请者，可能在当年的 12月份来申请。所以呢，一下子，比如说从一个长期可能50个学生的这样的pool，然后扒一下有上百人的这个一下子进来，那你的名字如果他们记不住的话，之前那其实在这个大的群体里边，他们更容易就是忽略。所以这个是 Mike 老师强调的，一定要提早，然后让别人记住你。OK, Mike.
Okay. So what I'm going to talk about really quick is what private schools look for in a student. And I'm going to try to be as what they're looking for in students while they're going through the application process. What did I look for? What can students contribute to our community once I accept them, once they come on campus? So we talked briefly about athletics, creating, being involved in arts, in communicating that to the admissions office. If I come to blank school, I'm going to participate in A, B, and C. I am passionate about these areas. And I guess it comes down to developing your personal brand. And so when an admissions counselor begins to go through the folder, they're putting a face and a name with the brand, right? Excellent in math and science, but loves to read literature, is involved, is interested in playing soccer, is passionate about Model UN or wants to be on the math team, is involved in community service. How are they involved in community service? A, B, and C, right? They like to tutor younger students, right? They like to go and work at one of the local homeless shelters and help families that are struggling in living there. They play the violin for fun, right? Those are all ways that a student need to be able to communicate to admissions offices, not what they do, but what they plan on doing on campus. Because that's my responsibility as an admissions officer, to bring in the best fit possible to my community. I'm responsible for that. So I need to know.
Okay, thanks, Mike. That was a mouthful. Okay,
Sorry, I should have gone a little slower.
That's okay. Yeah, but I really thought that was heartfelt. You really speak from experience. That's why I was a little bit long-winded. But yeah, great. That was a lot of good information. 就麦克老师这很关键，就是他当招生班主任的时候，他想怎么考虑来招收哪个学生。所以首先呢，学生会有多种方法告诉他就是刚才说了，就是从很早，比如说比如乐健作为这个学生的顾问来跟学校沟通，帮助他，然后让学校了解他的特长这个是一个方式。还有时候就是申请季，那通过面试还有申请材料也可以让老师指导他，所以它是一个长期，并且就是会有一个在最后有升级的这样的一个阶段让学校更好的指导。那麦克老师想知道什么呢？作为一个负责任的招生班主任的话，那他肯定就是要了解学生，他要了解学生 A， 比如说 Amy 跟 Emily 跟 Mike 他们各有什么样的好处。比如说一个是喜欢文学和这个联合国的一些事项，一个是非常喜欢社区服务，来用自己的能力来服务大家或者帮助困难的群体，另外一个可能是喜欢数学和研究，并且帮助这个流浪猫或者宠物救济。所以这些就是学生可以我们帮助学生塑造的一个鲜明的品牌。所以这个要通过多种方式让麦克老师当时作为招生班主任知道然后呢，麦克老师还要知道不仅仅他们以前做了什么，他也得告诉学校我来这个学校怎么来利用好学校的资源，然后在学校需要做什么。因为这样的话他们才是一个我们所谓的就是一个持续的成长过程他不是说进来就可以躺平了，他要可能更努力来把他之前的 不管的是才艺也好，或者兴趣爱好也好，继续的在 Kent 中学来发扬光大，来实践。这个就是 Mike 老师作为一个招生办主任他想看到的。所以我们在帮助一个学生申请的时候和辅导，我们也会反向的来把这个服务从反向设计出来，就是从以始为终然后看学生到底需要什么，才能让招生办主任重视到他和了解到他。Okay, thanks, Mike.
Okay. So they're looking for students who are going to contribute to their community. These schools want to feel like they are your first choice. They want to feel important, right? They want to feel that they're important to you. Now, there are some strategies, and one of the reasons you want to start early is to begin to communicate with these schools regularly. But there are strategies that you can use to let these schools know that they are important to you and your family, your student and your family. At some point, you may have to, when it comes down to it, you may have to just let them know you are our number one choice. If we are accepted, we are coming. Right? Because it's also partially because the applicant pool is very competitive. And these schools want to make sure that they're going to offer, there's a very good chance that the student is going to come.
Yes, I remember we talked about that before, Mike, and we have done that for some of our students, right? Yeah, to make the commitment. 所以 Mike 老师说，另外一个很重要的就是你要表忠心了，这个是很重要的，就是你让学校知道，尤其你想去的学校知道它是你的 number one choice 也是最佳选择。所以这个的话，其实对学校来说，学校感觉到就是他对不管是学生还对家庭来说，因为很多时候不光是学生，还有家庭，因为毕竟孩子比较小，学校也要跟家庭的匹配成功，所以整个一个集体都会需要让学校感觉到你是非常爱戴这个学校，并且了解它，并且可以这个享受和利用好它的教育在未来的几年。所以这个很重要，包括我刚刚跟 Mike 老师说，就之前我们一起帮助学生申请的时候，其实有好几位学生，我们都帮助学生来跟学校表忠心表示这个示爱的行为，就是说，如果我被录取了，那我是100%会来到你的学校的这个就是一个承诺，甚至还有其他的对学校表忠心的方式，一会儿我们会提到。Okay, Mike.
Okay, and one of the last things is, a lot of boarding schools, they're looking for students that can and do work independently. Right? Yes, the schools do offer support, but by their nature, the boarding school environment creates a situation where the student is not living with their parents. There's not always going to be somebody looking over their shoulder, right? Insisting that they get up and go to school or get up and study, right? The school does the very best it can to make sure that these students are doing what they need to do and get there on time, but they look for students that are going to make it easier for them.
Yeah. Right. Of course.
Okay, so self-motivated, students that work independently.
Okay, got it. Okay, self-motivation very important. OK， 还有一个这个我觉得非常好，麦克老师提到的，就学校非常想要独立的孩子虽然只是初中升高中而已，但是其实在这个年龄，美国更想看到他们的独特性，而不是这个在不管是文书还面试还其他的方式，得知父母是每天这个就是英文就这样说 ，looking over their shoulders，就是从肩膀看过去也就是手把手每天父母，这个是他们不想看到的因为其实他们需要学生是有自驱力的，这一点很重要就是成熟和自驱力，就在一个初中升高中的这个情况就需要能体现这样的能力的。然后呢，并且呢，他们有就是当然了，这个学校跟麦老师开玩笑，就是说学校想让这学生，因为他也不想 不想就像保姆一样的看一个小孩啊。这个因为毕竟是顶级的寄宿高中，那学生应该有独立思考、独立行动，还有独立关爱自己的能力，所以这个是学校想看到的。Okay, Mike, that's a very good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people don't think about this independence and self-motivation.
Oh, it's important, Diego, and one of the ways they gauge it is how often, as an admissions officer, am I hearing from the student? It's one thing to hear from a consultant. It's another thing to hear from a parent. How often am I hearing from the kid? How often am I hearing from the student? If I'm getting regular communication from the child, that tells me a lot, right? It means that they're taking self-interest. They are taking responsibility of this process, or at least a portion of it. And that's encouraging to me.
呀，就是这个说的太好了，麦克老师，就是这都不，我想感叹一下，这都不光是初中生了，就包括高中生申请大学的时候，有的时候其实家长很多时候会让老师，就是或者督促老师，或者是催老师给代替学生写邮件，但很多时候我们也不理解，就是这个邮件真的是很简单一个邮件，比如说有什么东西在申请时候，就是可能要问学校的一些信息或者催一下，那这些是学生可以做到的，所以这个跟上个点结合，就是学校不管是美高还是美本，都想看到独立的孩子，自主的孩子，所以如果孩子能主动跟学校联系，不管是邮件还是一个电话，还是其他的方面，那会让学校觉得就是说，第一他会经常听到学生的名字和声音。那就符合刚才我们说的，就先混个脸熟，就是比如说学校2年的这个时间段都听到这个关于学生的事迹，那肯定他会记忆非常非常牢固的然后这个学生肯定也会更容易被录取然后还有一个就是比如说学生可以自主打电话、自主邮件学校，那这个肯定就让学校感觉到这个孩子其实在学校的到来之后。他是非常一个省心的孩子，也可以看管好自己可以更好的在学校的环境和这么多资源的底下来成长而不是需要这个父母的天天的督促叫你起床等等所以这些是学校最不想看到的。Okay, yeah, that's great analogy, Mike.
So, well, what question? Do you have any other questions for me, Diego?
Yeah.
Anything else I can hit on that you can think?
Yeah. Couple questions, pointed questions, okay, from parents online. First of all is, do schools prefer, for example, Joyview, when we helped students last year, getting to some of the top schools, do school want a education consultant? For example, we're IECA community member. Do they prefer us helping a student, or they prefer student to do a DIY? And this is in case of a boarding school. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's always a plus to have an intermediary, which would be the consultant. It's always nice to have someone on the other end, wherever that student's coming from, whatever country they're coming from, that can act as a go-between and somebody who can organize the process within that country and get us the information that we need. So yeah, it's valuable.
Okay, and I think perhaps it's because many of the parents cannot communicate directly with the admin's office in terms of language barrier. So they will feel, if that's the case and the student does a DIY, the student might be underrepresented, right? So it's better to have a fair measurement through IECA, for example, like Joyview, to help them. Is that correct?
Certainly, yes. Having a consultant work as an advocate is very important in this process because things are so competitive, right? Parents can't afford to miss a due date, right? A student can't afford to not have their essay be read over multiple times by multiple people, right? They can't afford to, miss an opportunity to take a TOEFL or not prepare properly for an interview. It's become obvious what the value is regarding working with a consultant.
Right. I remember you read over perhaps Tinky. I changed the name. It starts with the T, and you know who I'm talking about. Tinky's essay, I think at least like a dozen times, right, before she was able to submit it. Yeah. And
sure, it's because we care, and we want to make sure that that student and the family is confident that they're putting their very best foot forward when they click send.
OK， yeah， 就刚才简单的说一下，因为我接下来可能要跟 Mike 老师就是更流利的，可能用英文说，因为老翻译的话老得停顿。基本上就问他一些，就是美国的招办主任知道有 IECA 顾问帮助他，比如说像乐见教育，他会开心还不开心？简单来说会开心，因为很多家长可能没有办法直接跟美国的学校来沟通，尤其是招办主任。但是呢，招办主任又很想了解每一个孩子他的特长、他的独特点。所以如果没有很好的沟通的话，那可能孩子就会缺失掉很多的跟招生办展现自己的机会。所以他们其实是倾向于有个第三方的。麦克老师说这个也是我自己的感觉。因为还有一点，如果他们认可的话，那家长肯定是需要一个顾问，因为这个事情真的是关系到孩子一生，肯定你不想错过一个就是截止日期。还有就比如孩子写出来的那个文书的话，肯定需要别人修改，达到一个最精美的状态。所以这些都是没有后悔药，就一定要一步到位和做好所以双方都是一个 win-win 赢的一个现状。Okay, yeah, that's one question. And Mike, so let's say a student has about 2 years to plan before the application season, and another student is in application season. For example, they come to Joyview, come to us in September or August. So how do you treat these cases differently?
Could you repeat that? Sorry, you broke up a little bit, Diego.
Yeah, imagine you have a student who has 2 years to prepare before application season, and other students who's coming, for example, this August or September and applying this year. How would you treat, mentoring these two students or helping them differently? Yeah, since one has a lot of time and one has almost no time.
Good question.
Yeah, maybe tell us about yours in particular, yours and Joyview's service model. Like how would you go on about helping them?
Well, I mean, the biggest differentiator, of course, is time. You have with the student that's applying earlier, you have more time to look for proper fit and best fit regarding school, because there's such a variety of boarding schools in the U.S. You can have a lot more conversations that help guide towards building a proper list that includes some reach schools, some what I call target schools, and a couple of safety schools. The student that applies earlier, you have more time to work on the application to make sure that it's properly prepared. You have more time to work on their essay. You have more time to prepare for the interview. The student has more time to prepare for the TOEFL, right? Or what's the other? The Duolingo, if that's the test.
Duolingo. Yes. Yeah, our love-hate relationship with Duolingo. Yeah.
With Duolingo. They have our students these students are busy. The families are busy. There's lots going on. Trying to wait to the last minute and try to cram all that it takes to search, look, apply to a solid list of schools is stressful for all involved, and it raises the possibility that something will be missed.
Okay, right. Okay.
Right. So the student that starts earlier simply has more time to do everything and do everything well than the student that waits to the last minute. And again, there's that very important piece of the puzzle of name recognition.
Yeah.
If I have a student that I'm starting to hear about really a year, year and a half, maybe 2 years before they start applying, write emails. Mr. Broderick, I'm curious about this program. I'm located in such and such city. Can you give me some information? That touch goes in a folder.
Okay. Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Another quick email. Hey, Mr. Broderick, thanks for the reply. I'm curious, do you guys have this club or this program? That touch goes in a folder. So that when it's time to make decisions, when I go to present to the board, to those that make the decisions, I have a folder of all of these communications with this student asking me very good, poignant questions about the program, about our school. So start earlier.
OK. 我刚才问了麦克老师，就是他怎么看待，就是一个有比如说2年辅导在申请季还有2年的时间的一个学生和一个比如说申请季进来的，比如8、9月进来的就马上要申请的学生。然后麦克老师说先说有足够时间的学生，那其实他可以花很多时间帮学生来挑选学校，然后来创造一个非常严谨的一个名单，学校的名单，然后还有更多的时间来准备他的标化、他的 essay、他的面试和他的整个的申请材料。所以这些就是需要如果有长期的时间的话，那可以保证没有东西会漏掉因为这个会漏掉。而且他说如果时间特别短，在申请季一下上来的话，对每一个人不管老师、家长还是学生都非常的会让大家制造很多的焦虑。还有一点就是可能大家到时候反而没有时间，因为不能保证没有突发事件大家都会很忙，不管父母还是学生学业考试如果考不出来，比如当时我们有个学生多邻国，因为他看了一下还是发呆了一会儿，他的成绩就被终身禁考和取消了。那他就是回过头来再想别的方式，比如托福还得重新学，那这个其实就没有时间了。包括像去年的话疫情大家谁也不能猜到疫情会有当时延续多久，但突然来疫情，然后大家都阳了，那又耽误了好几个星期。所以这些突发事件如果有提前准备的话会更好。然后还有就是跟之前说的这个可以连接起来，就是 name recognition， 就是让招生办记住你的名字这点很重要，名字是很重要，然后把名字跟学生的个人品牌给它关联起来就更重要。比如说如果长期辅导的话，那老师可以指点学生自己自主的来给学校招生办主任发邮件，比如说他说Mr. Broderick 我看到你的学校，我很喜欢赛艇，我很喜欢打这个曲棍球或者网兜球，你们学校到底有没有这样的项目目前缺什么样的这个成员，比如说是前锋还是后卫还是中场我能不能这个看一看你们的视频。所以这些呢每一次这种询问都会被记录下来，然后到时候如果他们真的有这种需求，或者是其实已经牢牢记住在招生办主任的脑海里了，这个学生还是蛮有就是自主和非常好奇心很强的好奇心然后问了我们很多好的问题，那我们肯定要额外关注这个学生。所以这样的话呢，就是长期可以提供的孩子的一个帮助，他确保不会漏掉任何一样事情。Just put you on the spot, Mike. What if the student didn't know about Joyview, didn't know about Diego, or didn't know about Mike, didn't know about Margie, Jim, etc., and they come in like September? Okay, let's say that already happened. There's nothing you can do. You cannot regret the past. What would you do starting like in September immediately for that student?
So September for the following year?
No, applying this year, right? Applying. Yeah, starting September.
So applying September of this year for next year?
Yes.
Oh, so they have 1 year to apply, really?
Well, yeah, you got the fall, right, for them to finish the application. One.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, really that last minute. So they're actually applying for, okay, gotcha. Great question.
Yep, September 1st. Let's say September 1st, Jimmy came in, okay?
Yes. Well, I mean, you have to make sure that you have all your paperwork prepared, all the various paperwork prepared. You have to make sure that your transcript, your full transcript, comes in almost immediately, and that it's translatable. That's important because we have to be able to translate what the student is taking and how it relates to our academics at our school. And of course, that's something that a consultant can help with. But if a parent at that point, they have to make sure on their own that that's translatable. I need to see a resume. What has that student done? What do they do? What makes them unique? Right? Of course, the application. It has to be done, and it has to be done correctly. Right? There's not a lot of time for back and forth. Right? If something's missed in the initial application, there's not a whole lot of time because that admissions office is knee deep in applications by that time.
Okay.
Okay, there's not much time. You have to make sure that the essays are prepared and prepared properly. Again, there's not a lot of time for back and forth. And the more competitive the school, if something is out of place, there are schools out there that will just move the student to a no if things are missing from the application.
Okay.
Because they just don't have time to chase.
Okay.
You have to be prepared in short notice to do your interview.
Right. I remember we getting a student interview at the last second, right? Yeah. We had to email.
It makes it more difficult, but it can be done, but it makes it more difficult.
OK。Yeah， 所以我刚才给麦克老师问题就假设啊，最好的事情没有发生，然后也没有后悔药，学生9月1号才进来，那我们要做什么？那麦克老师说这个就非常紧张了，就是马上要 prepare 所有的这个文件啊，比如说他成绩单，而且确保这成绩单是可以翻译出来的，因为你翻译不出来，别人也看不懂。还有他的简历啊，然后这简历上包括和他探讨，就是什么是他这个孩子比较独特的点。然后这个的话，其实就得一气呵成，要充分了解文书基本上没有太多时间的来回修改，就得一气呵成，而且不能出错。为什么不能出错呢？因为在这个时间招生办他也没有时间给你看什么邮件再记下来哦 ，Jimmy 这个给我说了一件事情我们可以记住他，因为到那时候其实招生办的工作室他们的办公室已经是叫 knee deep， 就是他们已经是自身难保了吧，就是这个申请材料太多了，所以这个时候呢，如果有什么东西记错了或者没有提交，可能以前的话他会提醒你，但是到这个时候可能有个东西他没有看到，他就直接把你拒了因为他真的没有时间跟你来回折腾。然后还有就是面试也要提前约，但是如果这个进来的晚的话，其实没有办法提前约，有时候面试就是约不到。我记得当时我们一个学生他就进来的很晚，然后这个面试因为他成绩没出来，也没有约到，然后后来还得给招生办主任写信托关系，才给他加进去了一个面试，在他的申请材料就是这个就是在他的我记得3月15号在他的录取发出来之前赶上3天之前面试了，结果他最后被录取了。但是如果他没有这个面试的话，可能招生办主任也不会在乎，因为你没有面试，你就没有提前要求，那肯定是你的问题，我们不管，因为已经申请学生太多了，那直接就把你的拒了。所以这个的话也是 有惊无险，所以这个麦克老师都和我都是记忆犹新，所以希望同学可以提早准备啊，这个是我们今天的一个给大家的建议。Okay, Mike, it seems it's almost 9 o'clock. It was a great session. One last question. Please think as many as you can. Working with Joyview and all the past years for some of the top boarding schools. What are some of the top boarding schools we have got students into?
So let's see. Let me think about this for a second. Students that we have, top boarding schools we've got the students into. So Phillips Andover.
Okay.
Lawrenceville in New Jersey.
Okay.
Mercersburg in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Choate Rosemary Hall.
Okay.
Emma Willard, which is one of the top all women's schools in the U.S. in Albany, New York. Outstanding school.
I know you had one, Hotchkiss, right? You missed
Hotchkiss.
Yeah.
Yes. Kent.
Okay, of course. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Nice.
Deerfield.
Okay. Deerfield. Wow, that's a good list. Yeah, that's pretty representative. Yeah, let me just read it.
One school I've never had anybody go to is Taft.
Yeah.
I've never gotten anybody into Taft. They've never applied. I don't know why.
Taft
outside of Hartford. Yes. Great school.
Okay,
I've just never had anybody go.
Yeah, thanks for honest answer. Okay. 问麦克老师，就是那个乐见教育，然后我们一起把什么样的，就是从这个16年开始，我们把这个学生送到什么样的学校这个的话，之前有那个 PEA 大家都知道，还有 Lawrenceville 在 New Jersey， 还有魔堡在 Pennsylvania， 还有 Choate Mary Hall 还有 Emma Willard 是这个顶级的女子学校 ，Hotchkiss 还有 Kent， 当然了，肯定有 Kent， 然后 Deerfield， 然后那个麦克老师还说有一个他特别想把学生送进去，但是目前还没有，就是 Taft 然后这个的话是一个遗憾，希望今年看有没有学生想申请这个是在那个 Hartford 旁边。Okay, with that, Mike, yeah, that's I hope together we will help parents online, and also I will give a way for people staying very late with us. It's already 9 o'clock. I'll give parents the freebie. I think the first 3 parents that email our marketing folks will get a free 30 minutes consultation. Either by us two together or me or you. You think we can give them that, Mike?
Sure, that'd be fine.
Yeah, that'd be okay. 我跟大家说一下，这个今天快结束了，然后我请 Mike 老师就是联系我们小助手或者在屏幕上扣1的这个家长，我们可以提供30分钟的咨询我和 Mike 老师一起，这样的话可以更好的帮助到我们学生，因为今天一小时过去也很快，所以提供3个免费的半个小时咨询，和我们俩一起帮助学生和家长咨询。Okay, with that, Mike, again, thank you for joining Joyview's top boarding school webinar session, and it's been great having you. And I hope we can join hands in another school in the near future.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, Diego.
Okay, thank you, Mike. 我们感谢 Mike 老师，然后欢迎各位家长。今天晚上来到乐见顶级技术美高直播间。Yeah, Mike. Yeah, did you? Should I teach you some Chinese and just say goodbye next time?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. It's called 再见。
再见。
Yeah, 再见. That's goodbye.
再见。